screen completely, so I could not see that. Right, so we were with the topic that is isocont. Isocont is applicable where when we plan to go ahead with the production, the alternatives that to us, the main core factor of production, the broader classification of factor of production goes in two aspect, capital and labor. Right? If you remember in the initial stage, we had talked about factor of production and four factors were discussed. Entrepreneurship, right? Labor, capital and land. Right? When we say capital as a resource, through capital, we accumulate other resources like machine, tools, technology, equipments, any software, any hardware, right? Everything is purchased with the help of capital. Even land is byproduct of the resource that is capital, right? So broad-based classification will always go with two main factor, that is capital and labor, right? That is capital and human. So here in isocont, we are trying to identify and we are trying to understand how far these two factors, capital and labor, are substitute. In what form of business, they are not substitute, but they are complementing each other. Right? Say for example, in the last class also I told you that there are so many online tutorials through which you can study economics. Right? Even in my absence, right, on your own, through books, that is one resource, through online videos, that is another resource, you can study this subject. What is the limitation? Limitation is those resources will not answer your queries. Those resources will not come as an alternative, as an explanation, right? They may not have that convincing explanation or convincing explanation varieties for different type of audience, right? As I said, to make engineering student understand what is economics, I have to understand their orientation. Same way, to make any banking executive understand what is economics, the orientation, the examples will go in that direction. So on videos, on books, you may not have those alternatives. So there we are complementing each other. This PPT and me, right? The resource which is purchased through capital, the projector, the PPT, and me, the human resource, we are complementing each other. So we are looking into production because this chapter production function has this theory of isocont. Okay, so in production function, we are studying this isocont. So we are understanding here how we complement and how we are a substitute to each other. Right? So different combination, different method, like when we used to study, right? If I talk about my batch, it was 2002, 2005, right? At that time only the seminar hall had projector. The rest of the class, there was I forgot that name, OTG stencils. They used to use stencils, printed stencils, which used to give reflection on the board, right? So that was the method which was used. It was more of a chalk and talk method. And now any class with chalk and talk method may or may not be that interactive. I mean, may or may not be that effective or influencing. Now students are more bound to see something which is continuously in motion there, right? So this is where we complement each other, right? This is not my substitute, right? This is where we are complementing to bring effectiveness, to bring efficiency. Same goes in the production, right? So combination of two factors. I guess last class we had gone through this particular slide, different combinations, the resources that we are using, capital and labor, capital and labor. If I am employing 3 units of capital, if I'm employing 3 units of capital, right? Right, and 3 units of labor, I'm able to reach out to an output which is 10 units. Okay, 3 units of capital, 3 units of labor, I'm able to reach out to an outcome that is 10 units. If I alter the combination, if I reduce my dependency on capital, right, it is 2 units, 4 units of labor. I'm increasing 1 unit of labor, I'm decreasing 1 unit of capital. I'm again able to reach out to the same level of output that is 10 units. So here, capital and labor is a pure substitute. Have laborers, don't have machines, I can add labor. And I will be able to gain the same output that is 10 units. Same way, if I want to scale up, right, if I want to scale up, I will go and I will have more addition of capital units. So if I employ 11 units of capital, I reach to a point D, right? I reach to a point D where I'm having highest dependence on capital, and and the number of labors which I'm using are 4 at D point, right? At D point, right? 11, right? And 4. If you draw it in a margin, right? If you scale it up, you will be able to find it is 11 units of capital and 4 units of labor, which is giving me increase in the overall output. That is now 20. But if I am a company which is not having that much financial potential or capacity, I will not go for installing more capital. I may start adding more labor, and I may choose an alternative that is F, right? Where I'm employing 3 units of capital again, but I'm increasing my labor from 4, 3 to 9. And this is how I'm doubling the output. I am multiplying my capacity, right? So whenever the curve, isoquant curve moves upward, it shows more employment of resources, either capital or labor. Lower the curve, more it is closer to 0, more it is, right? If you can see, more it is leftward towards y-axis. It shows lower output capacity. The more it is upward, which is towards, it is showing more output, right? So whenever we talk about shift in the curve, chapter demand, the way we have talked in the chapter supply, upward curve shows increased capacity, right? Downward side curve shows the capacity which is contracting, which is reducing, right? So whenever the curve is more lean towards left side, it shows lesser output. Whenever it is reflected above, right side, it is shifting right side, upward, it shows higher production capacity. Right? So if I want 10 to 20, I have to increase my inputs also. Without addition of inputs, I cannot increase my output. Right? In capital, it may be some technology. In capital, we may go for some processes, some methods. So R&D, which happens in the method, right? So to increase the output, we have to keep on adding more inputs, right? We have to keep on capital money in the processes, in the methods, in the system, which will help us to increase the output, right? So here comes the concept of MRTS, that is marginal rate of technical substitute, where labor and capital is considered to be same. Right, I told you in the last class, you have to remember the full form of MRTS. This can be 1 mark question in your exam. Okay, what is the full form of MRTS? Marginal rate of technical solution, marginal rate of technical marginal return of technical solution. There can be alternatives. You have to choose the appropriate alternative. An MCQ, or there can be a question, what is the formula for calculating MRTS? So change in capital upon change in revenue. Very important for your midterm, very important for your finals. Okay. Now this is again an elaborated way of showing you, right, how the ranges, how MRTS works. Right. So if I am increasing the capital consumption from 4 to 8, if I am increasing capital consumption from 4 to 8, what is happening to the labor? Whenever one will increase, another one will shrink. Right? So from 4 labors, I will reduce to how many labors? 2, right? Here it is 2.5. I'm reducing it to 1.5 or 1.25. Right? So whenever I exceed in one resource, one input, the other input I'm trying to suppress so that I balance the cost. So that I balance the cost. I don't want to go beyond my budget at any point of time. So if I'm hiring more machine, I've reduced my expenses on labor, recruitment, selection, training, right? Incentives, whatever I give them. I will be reducing those costs by reducing number of employees. Yes? See, it's division because here they are showing it is reducing from 8 to 4. So minus in that way. See, formula in elasticity sums, even the same question will come when we will be doing elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply sum. Minus sign will remain unaffected. I mean, there is no concept in terms of the minus sign. But here, the minus sign reflects that capacity of capital was more and now it has reduced. Right? And here the minus sign shows the other way. It was 4, it has increased to 8. Right? So in that way, the change. Right? So the change comes with, that is the formula. We will do the sums at that time. You will be able to get a more clear picture. From next week, we will be having sums. Because theory we are completing today. So next week, we will be having 5 problems to be solved. Right? 2 in cost concept, 2 in production, that is total revenue concept, and 2 sums, almost 6 to 7 sums we will have, that will be in terms of isopont. Right? So here again, the labor capacity is increasing, capital is decreasing. Any questions? I was saying that division as a plus, that's why it is division sign. Yeah. Right? Change in capital divided by change in labor. Right? So capital is changing by 1 unit, even labor is changing by 1 unit in this sum. Right? Earlier it was change in capital was by 4 unit, but change in labor was by 1 unit. Right? So these are again alternatives, just to make it very clear. So right? So now there are assumptions, as I told you last time also. In every theory, there will be Okay, my voice is cracking. Is it fine now, Mohit? Okay. Right, assumption. First assumption of substitute. What is assumed? It is assumed that capital and labor are substitute. Without this assumption, you cannot go with combination of two. You cannot eliminate one when you are increasing other. Right? So this assumption is very much important part of theory. Right? As I told you, every theory starts with assumptions. Right? So there is assumption to the theory. There is a particular definition. How do you define MRTS? So there is definition. Based on that definition, there are assumptions. Then the model, that is explanation to the theory, and then implication means where the theory is applied, and the last one is limitation. So holistically, these five things completes one theory, be it economics or be it principles of management or be it any theory of OB. Right, I've taught almost all subject except quant in this 14 years. So be it any theory, be it any subject, right, always it will be definition. Based on that definition, you derive certain assumptions. Based on the assumption, the model is designed, how this model is implicable, where it is applied, and limitation. Right? And final takeaway is put in the conclusion. What do we conclude? What is the summary that we draw from this particular theory? Right? So first assumption, labor and capital both are required to produce a particular good, but you can substitute them. Right? L, K, and X. X, that is commodity, they are perfectly divisible, but it is actually not. Right? Every assumption is actually not a fact, it is assumed. Right? So it is not a fact. Right? You cannot divide capital and labor logically. Right? People talk about HR accounting, human resource accounting, but it is not that logical. You cannot derive the monetary value of human being. Same way here also, right? You cannot identify the exact value of a labor. It's always tentative. Technology of product is given and it will remain same. That is again one of the assumption. Right? So here different points are plotted. Here different points are plotted, that is different combination. Combination A, B, C, D, E. In combination A, there is more capital, less labor. Right? Same way in combination E, more labor, less capital. Right? So any combination you take, the output will remain same. That is what is the conclusion. Any combination you take, the output will remain same. Right? And isocont curve are generally assumed to be downward sloping curve. So in case in exam, if you again have an MCQ, the MCQ will be isocont curves are upward, downward, left oriented or right oriented, vertical or horizontal. Your answer will be they are downward sloping. They are downward sloping curves. Now, in isocont curve, there are two types of curve, right? So again, an MCQ. How many types of isocont curves are there? Which of the following are isocont curve? Option A, linear input-output. Option B, input-output and static. Right? So there can be alternative combination that these are the two types of isocont curve. So two types, one is linear isocont, second is input-output isocont. Right now, when we will be applying what type of isocont, right? When to go with the theory of linear isocont, when to go with the theory of input output isocont, right? We have to understand where we are applying it. So when we consider linear isocont, it is where we assume the factor to be substitute. Okay, where we assume the factor to be substitute. At that time, we will be applying linear isocont. When we understand the substitutes are complementary to each other, the substitute are complementary to each other, we are going with the second type, that is input output isocont, right? Input output isocont. So what is linear isocont? Again, the same examples which we have studied ahead. All the examples which we did so far were the examples of linear isocont, downward moving curve, combination, replacing, add more capital, more machine, reduce labor, add more labor, reduce capital. That was example of linear isocont. Can somebody give me example of any isocont that is input output? Substitute the resource. They are complementary to each other. Any product, any production, any business where you can say these are complementary, they are not substitute. Any example? The workers and machines. If we talk about the Rajkot plant, entire process was automated except the point where you're picking up the more fried wafers, right? The labor, and because they didn't have that sensor, they didn't have that technology which could pick that this is more roasted, which is not to be put into the packet, which is to be served to the customer. So on the ground of quality, you have to remove all black or brown wafers. In Valsad plant, they even had made this automated. So in Valsad plant, it is the machine and less of labor. Right? Apart from that, again, education in the modern days, we are complementing each other. Same way, same way, even in the banking operations, even in the banking operations, right? Right now, every bank is having it, but before 7 to 8 years, yes, a bank, they were much prominent enough to, come up with the softwares which are any employee at any point of time, whenever they are free, they were given one timeline. And this was the online training software which used to be there. They could log in with some ID password, and whenever they were free, they can undergo that training and they can give the test. So upgradation of employees with the upgradation of technology used to take place simultaneously in the banking sector. And at that time, SBI Bank was the first mover in that way. Because I didn't saw at that time in other banks, right? I have majority of my friends, my batchmates who are into banking sector, right? And as I told that I was IGNOU counselor, and in that batch also I had so many banking employees to whom I used to teach, right? So with the experience with the researchers, SBI Bank was always prominent in terms of having training and upgradation of skills of employees before technology was added in the services, right? Before the technology was added in the services. So they were continuously upgraded to match the technology, right? Why we are having so much of unemployment problem in India? One of the reason is people are not continuously getting upgraded to get themselves suitable to manage the new operations with new machines, with new softwares, right? So this is where you complement each other. So input output ratio is if you want to bring new machines, your old traditional employees who are unskilled has to be replaced with the new employees who are skillful, who are trained, or you have to undergo that process of training your employees. Then the machines will be used with the employees, right? So this is where it goes in this way. Upgradation of technology needs upgraded employees. The higher technology that you use, you need higher skillful efficient employees, right? So this is input output isocont, right? If you are adding capital, you need expertise people to deal with that capital, the allocation of capital which is done. Is this clear? Any questions? Right, so this is known as L-shaped input output isocont. Right, so again in MCQ, which of the isocont is known as L-shaped isocont? What will be our answer? Input output isocont. Right? Assumptions we have already taken ahead. Characteristics or property of isocont, 4-mark question. Okay, 4-mark question. This slide will have a weightage of 4 marks. Okay, there can be a 2-mark question. Write short note on following. 2 marks for one, 2 marks for another. So if it is just asked in 2 marks, write down just the points. Don't write explanation. If it is asked in 4 marks, write explanation of 2 to 3 lines. Right, so I'm explaining it one by one. Isocont curve shows negatively sloped, downward sloped. Right, so again, if you are asked, what do you mean by negatively sloped? You have 2 answers to this. Answer 1, downward. Answer 2, left to right. Okay, so if it is asked again, negative slope is right to left, left to right, horizontal, up to down, or from bottom to up. Answer is it is from left to right, downward sloping curve. Okay, a higher representation is framed in a wrong way, but it is trying to say that higher representation, that is higher curve, shows higher output. Yes, it is negatively sloped because it is substitute. Right? In absence of substitute theory or assumption, it can never be negative. It can never be negatively sloping. Second property, higher isocont curve shows higher output. Right? Lower isocont curve shows lower outcome. Right? So higher the curve, higher is the combination. Lower the curve, lower is the factor utility. Right? So this is the second property. Clear? No two isocont intersect or touch each other because every isocont is different possibility. So it will never intersect each other. There will be different possibilities, right? Two isocont means two different combination. Two isocont means two different combination. It will never intersect each other, right? Because with every increase in capital, you are decreasing labor. So no point it will intersect each other. It will never cut each other. It will never cross each other. Right? So this is the third characteristic. Fourth, isoconts are always convex to the origin. And this is about linear isocont. Please mind this well. In linear isocont, they are convex. Okay. But in input output, it starts with 0. Right. So there it touches to the point of origin, that is 0. So remember this. Right. So again, negatively sloped, it is negatively moving, but it is not touching y-axis and x-axis. It may touch. It's not that it will not. Only thing that you have to remember is, yes. 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 Right. Output can never be 0. Right. There can be a point where the curve, the line, right, right, it will never touch any of the axis also. If you see all the representation, it will not. But it may happen. It may happen that it may touch at some point of time. With only labor, you are able to generate output. But again, hiring the labor, you will need capital. Right? So, y-axis, x-axis. The curve will not touch to the axis also. Right? So, remember that. Never intersect each other, because every time you lower one input, you are increasing another input. So new curves will form, new shapes will emerge. It will never intersect each other. There is a small 3-minute video. There is a small 3-minute video about the characteristic of isocont. I will be sharing that in your WhatsApp group. You can just refer that. Just 3 minutes in which you can have complete recap. Right? Because here the limitation is I have to be here with the laptop. I cannot draw the chart there. And again, after the completion of one session, immediately in 10 minutes, another faculty is waiting out. So I cannot take any 10-15 minutes extra for people who are coming offline. Right? Convex, right, means it is turning its back towards 0. Right? That is it. This is where we complete with unit 2. Theory, we complete here with this unit 2. We will have practicals. As I said, 6 practicals we will do in unit 2. 4 to 5 practicals we will do in chapter demand. Elasticity of demand, elasticity, income elasticity, cross elasticity, elasticity of supply. 4 sums we will do that. Right? Because 16-mark question, whenever it will come, it will be combination of theory and practical. Okay, so that we will be doing. Right? Once we have more number of students coming to the class, I will talk to ma'am. Accordingly, we will go with the practical questions. Right? And in case if we are expecting that after 15 days, more students will be joining offline class, I will wait for next 15 days. Then I will start with next module, module 3. Your syllabus for midterm. Your syllabus for midterm will be first unit, second unit, and third unit. Because midterm will start somewhere around 27th. So half portion. 22nd is the starting date, but my paper is on 27th. So I am more oriented towards my paper that is on 27th and how much I can cover up by 27th. Right? So half of third module. Right? Third module itself is very small. Very small. Right? Now all the 3 modules are very, very small. No, sums will not be midterm 2 sums will not be included. The next assignment which will be given to you, the takeaway home test, right, which has again a rubrics weightage. In that takeaway home test, right, in that takeaway home test, I will be giving you sums. It will be pure sums and calculations. Okay, so that you get also. Yes. 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 Because in application, in application, right? As I said, every theory has application, right? So as compared to input output isoquant and linear isoquant, majority of the production units, manufacturing units, and remember one thing, isoquant isoquant is applied to manufacturing units. This is again one of the characteristics. The concept of isoquant is applied more to the production and manufacturing unit, lesser to the service, right? So applicability, in form of applicability, linear isoquants are highly applicable, highly used, and found relevant all over the world, wherever it comes to production decisions. The metrics are changing because of evolution of AI, IoT. Now the things will change from application of linear to input output. That gradual shift is coming now. No. Again, the divisibility concept that labor and capital can be divided. No. Because however efficient labor I may be, at different point of time with different incidents in my life, I may not have the same effectiveness or efficiency. Where capital is standardized. Capital, the value will change. Time value of money, the chapter which you all have studied in your finance, and maybe this semester or next semester you will be studying it again. So money value will change, but it is calculative. Human value which is changing is not that calculative. I may upgrade and I may degrade. I may degrade because of some personal situations, because of some health issue. I may upgrade because of some new learning with new experiences, right? But it is not calculative. That is the reason why I told that human accounting, right? One of the area where when I wanted to do PhD, I wanted to do it in human capital accounting, but I could not find good guide at that point of time. Why? Because the concept is still blur. How you can make human capital accounting, right? Values, ethics, right? You cannot ever monetize those things, right? So coming back to attendance, 10:45, I guess the time is right. 40. Students who are there offline, please just raise your hand when it comes to your turn. Saket, Seema, Seema, okay. Harsh, Nandini, Nandini, okay. Kinjal, Maulik, Yash, Jay, Keyur, Dharam, Mohit, Nimit, Nimit, Ajay, Vishal, Krunal, Krunal, Megha, Megha, Neerav, Darshita, Rajvi, okay, Rajvi, Devanshi, Devanshi, Uttam, Jay, Jigar, Urvi, Abhishek, Bansi, Yashvi, Ami, Harshil, Harshil, Hiten, Bhavin, Ritika, Hardik, Sanjari, Sanjari, Hardik, Maharishi, Maharishi, Afrida, Chaturbhuj, Karan, Deep, Deep, Karan, Urmit, Urvishit, Jigar, Fennel, Vasu, Urja, Urja, Kaushal, Kaushal, Rashmi, Neev, Dhaval, Emmanuel, Vada, Nathaniel Blue, Priska, Josem, Eleventon, Andrew, Mubaraka, Joshua Lawrence, Najiullah, Sati Saha, sorry, whose number? Sorry, Hardik. Thank you, students. You may leave the online class. Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
আমার নামটা ভালো করে আর বেশি করে